Hi, Kill Rob. No over bad reaction gaming, and I accept your challenge for this Duesenberg recreation in an alternative reality. So, first of all, it does 258.4, and we are doing only one car. And there's the car. Isn't it pretty? I chose a color, but I don't know why. I just spun the wheel. Uh, it's a 9.8 liter 12 V12, and it does 258.4 kilometers per hour. Let's see. Is there anything else to look at here? No. Oh, that's right. The difficulty level I'm playing at. Where is that in this thing? All the way over here. There it is. Insane. What I did was just left everything else alone, and I'm starting with 50 million in the bank. So, I found a convertible was the best way to do it because sometimes people will buy a convertible if it's a hypercar like a Carroll Shelby, something old like that, whether they wouldn't otherwise buy a coupe, but the coupe buyers will buy a convertible if it's a good enough car. Yeah, I'm leaving the shifts down very low because this first run is really trying to establish a plant, and I'm really hitting it from the very back tee here at 52 million. What I'm planning on is dipping into bankruptcy, but being able to pull it off. Hopefully, let's see what happens. Yep, here we go. And we're fast forwarding like we have to do. Yes, we know we just sit here and lose money. We're going to see if the factory build's going to get in our way and if we really run into bankruptcy or if we're just mildly into bankruptcy. Because if I can tweak the factory build when this is all over with and try another run, then we'll do that. That's not a big deal. I'll automate the factory less. I'll make it more of a hands-built car. A little bit less margin. I'll make the car still work. I'll just have to make the numbers work better to get this factory off the ground. I could make it in a tiny factory, but I don't want to do that. I want to start out with a small plant. That's the whole idea behind this. We're still pouring money out, but at least it's still in the design phase. If you didn't notice, we have 5 years of waiting. Yeah, it gets cheaper as you extend it out. So, hey, we're extended out here. We hope that when it hits, it doesn't hit where it's too old of a body design for it to be desirable anymore. But at the same time, the car goes, so what the heck? It's a fast car. And I put a big teardrop trunk on the thing, too, if you didn't notice. That added to the practicality a little bit. It even has a little bit of an off-road thing, which I was really surprised about. But then again, I've seen a couple of shows where they've taken otherwise sports cars and turned them into off-road rally cars by changing the suspension. I actually have something somewhat of a mix of that. Subarus are known for that, rallying and, racing all on the same platform. So, okay, I'll deal with it. I'll say, okay, running across Africa or whatever the hardest road, worst conditions you have here. I guess that'd be Arcadia. All right, we're getting into bankruptcy. Let's see what happens. Now it's going to get interesting. Okay. Here it goes. Revised car. That's the first thing I do. We'll let them roll out of here and see what happens. Next thing I'm going to do, though, is hit the save button. Just to see if it's something I can adjust here and make it work. All right. Still crank up the production. All going to go out. So we should be able to pull. There it is. We're out of the hole. No, we're not. Well, yeah, we are. Okay, let's just watch this thing get to the ground, and we're getting to 1955 already, if you noticed. So how are we going to pull off next week's design? I really don't know. I'll probably fail. That's the whole idea of this. It's not about the time it takes for failure, but how long it takes to fail sometimes. And maybe this was just a failing strategy to begin with. But we're going to have to find out, I guess, on the next episode, how the next episode goes. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Obviously, it's only 1953. But the one thing we do have is 3,800, 4,000. We'll run this right up to 1955 and stop there. Okay, 54. And we did build a little company on that car. Let's just see where we're at. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to dump out so many right now, all the way up till 1955. Yeah, here. Yeah, we'll just keep it sane because who knows? $1.05. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll leave it there. We'll get out the last couple. All right, here we are in 1955. And we had a year profit of $5 million. And I don't know how you want to play this out from here. I appreciate the rules being loose because I can design another 5-year car, and this platform could run for another 5 or 10 years, maybe even being still sold. But I'll wait for your next episode to see what you have to say with that. We can play loose with these rules the whole way. Good one. Have a good evening, guys, and thanks for watching this.